All right, hi guys, Mindy Brouse here, Director for Foundation CC. Today's video, this video is going to be for my tutors. We are going to be doing a master artist, James Audubon. So I know this isn't in the original CC plan, so I'm doing something a little different. I wanted to make sure you had a video on this. All right, so let's get started. All right, so the reason I chose to do Audubon is I wanted to have our students to have a naturalist in one of their master artists, and he is one of the top ones. James Audubon is known for his works on birds, the birds of North America. Interesting fact, he couldn't sell the book here, but when he went across the ocean to France, I think, or maybe England, but I think France, and Europe, they wanted to sell it, became #1, and he became well known. He's also from my home area, New Orleans area. He has a big park there. Anyway, okay, so we're going to do Audubon, and we're going to do watercolors for this one. Again, I try to make sure we have different artists and different mediums. So we're going to do watercolors. So tutors, remember, one of the things I want you to do during the entire class is to say the artist name several times. 7 times. I want you to say it 7 times during the class. Who are we doing? Audubon. Who's this master artist? Audubon. So say it a lot so that it sticks, okay? So the first thing you'll do is you'll show them, we'll have one of these in each class. Actually, we're going to have 3 in each class so the students can look at it in groups of 2 or 3. And I want you to ask the students what they see. What do they observe in these pieces? These are 5 different works of Audubon's, okay? So you're going to look at them, you're going to ask them, what's happening here? Okay? Now, draw that out. What they should notice is there is action, there's movement going on. These are not just birds sitting there, boring, okay? He had them, it looked like something was happening. Here, the bird's about to have dinner, right? Catch dinner. This one looks like he's being chased maybe, or he's running to something. My kid said that these 2 are having a chat, I don't know. All right, so these we have eating, diving, all right? So there's things going on. This is a beautiful flow of movement for this flamingo here, okay? So I want you to draw out that he tried to show them doing things, and they're not just in really boring positions, okay? The wings outstretched, that's unusual, those kinds of things, okay? So talk about it for the first 5 to 7 minutes, ask them what they notice, then you're gonna move on to the project, all right? For this project, we are gonna have 2 different pieces. The younger students are going to do the flamingo, and the older students are going to do the kingfisher. Okay, so in the classrooms, you will have specific colors geared towards those projects. Remind the students that they are not here to do Batman or Thor or anything like that. You know who I might be talking about? That we are going to do these birds, and we're going to do them in the naturalist colors. We're not going to be Falvis and do these in purple and bright neon green. We're going to do them in their naturalist colors, okay? So those colors are what you'll have. All right, so you'll have those in there. You'll have multiple copies of this so the students can share, okay? Of course, we're going to have one of my cats come onto the table. Cat, go away. Psst, psst, psst. Okay, so the first thing you'll have in class, you're going to have these watercolors. All right, so I will have the colors in there that you need for the projects. Something I need you to remember so that the colors last is that you do not need a lot of the watercolor paint in the water to make it work, okay? I forgot to get my paper. Hang on, let me get a piece of paper. All right. Back. All right, you guys will have watercolor paper, okay? You will have that in class, and then I just poured water in my project, sorry. No, will you dry that, blot that dry for me real quick? Okay, so like I said, you'll have these in different classes. I'm just gonna do the flamingo for this one. I won't do the whole project. All right, but what they'll do first is they'll draw with pencil their flamingo. Something that I learned when practicing this with the 5, 8, and 11-year-old is to tell them to fill the paper. So you can see the 5-year-old did it pretty small, right? But the 8 and 11-year-old got to where they filled the papers. So tell them to start big. Have them start up here, especially the abecedarian classes, the younger kids. Tell them to start at the top of the paper and move down doing these movements, okay? So they're gonna draw this flamingo first. Have them do that so they fill up the whole paper, okay? So they're gonna draw the flamingo, and they're gonna act like it's hard. They're gonna act like they can't do it, and that's okay. Part of this is appreciating how hard this is to do and what a master artist Audubon was to be able to do it, okay? So you have them draw that first movement first, okay? So then they'll do the rest of the bird. I won't do the whole project so that you don't have to watch the whole video, a long video. They're gonna do that first, then they're going to paint. Now, remind them that a little watercolor goes a lot, pretty far, okay? They don't need a ton. So they're going to brush, paint on, and they'll be using watercolor paper. So it'll be a different look than this cardstock. But I didn't want to use the good paper, all right? So they'll paint, okay? They'll do their bird on all the different colors. So something to remind them of as they do this. So right here, they're gonna have different colors, and you're gonna say, well, why do we have some of the different colors? Because the bird is not a solid pink, right? There's different shades of color going on. Have them include that, okay? So they're gonna have 3 different colors to be able to use in their bird and their background. So can you see how just a little bit of the different colors helps it make it look better instead of such a flat color? All right, make sure they do their background. They'll have colors for that too, all right? One of the tips that I want to suggest is that after they draw their pencil drawings, wet the paper, the watercolor paper, not soak it, just dampen it a little bit, and then do the colors on top. So dampen it with plain water, and then do the paint on top. That helps the color move nicely. So you can do that. All right, at the end, if they have time, then they will have some oil pastels that match their project that they can go over the fine lines. So this way they can kind of color over the pencil marks and hide the pencil marks a little bit, okay? And then they can also add a little bit if they want, okay? So they'll be able to do that. Like I said, this is some of the samples of the practice we did, but then I bought the really good paper because my practicing with the less expensive watercolor paper wasn't as good, so bought that. All right, so again, remember, naturalist James Audubon, say his name a lot, have a really good time with it. There you go. Thanks, tutors.